Hi guys, I'm Ankit. In this video, we'll see the problem on LeetCode. Most visited sector in a circular track. So given an integer and an array rounds, we have a circular track which consists of n sectors labeled from 1 to n. A marathon will be held on this track and the marathon consists of m rounds. So ith round starts at sector rounds of I minus 1 till the sector rounds of I. So for example, if the round 1 starts at sector rounds of 0, then it ends at the sector 1. So return the array of most visited sectors sorted in the ascending order. Notice that you circulate the track in ascending order of the sector numbers in the counterclockwise direction. So the question is, let's take this example only. Okay, I'll explain the example problem with this example. Here we start at the sector 1. Okay, we are at sector 1. To move to sector 3, how do we move? If it is in circular track, we have to pass sector 2, then sector 3. So 1, 2, 3 will traverse, which will have the count of 1 now for these two. Next, from 3 to 1, how do you go? 3, 4, then 1. You have to travel, right? So, from 3, 4, you go and then you reach 1. From again, then 1 to 2, how do you go? Directly from 1, you go to 2 because already at 1, directly you go to 2. So, this will be will be getting for 1. How many times have you visited? 2 times. 2 is also visited 2 times. 3 and 4 are visited once. So, you could see here 3, 4 visited once and 1 and 2 are visited twice. So the highest number of times which track has been visited, there is 1 and 2 which has been visited twice. We have to return that in the ascending order. This is the question they have given in brief. So let's implement the logic with the given example. Here we have n equal to how much? It's 4. Okay. So what we'll do is, as I said, uh, like the round you sector, how much you travel. It's nothing but you started this index, ended this index, the element at this. You started first track, you ended third track. How do you move? 1, 2, 3. Then if you want to start at third track and move to first track, not track, first sector, then how do you move? From 3, you traverse to 4, then 1. Similarly for 1 to 2, directly from 1 to 2 you go. Here 1 to 3, 1, 2, 3. So what we'll do is we'll keep pointers, okay? We'll keep pointers. Let this be start and end now, initially, right? So initially you want to move from the sector 1 to sector 3 and okay, we need to store the answer. So we'll have a resultant vector to store the answer. And also one more thing which we need to have is we'll have an array of size n. Okay, why n? As they say there are n tracks. That's why we'll have a array of size n, or you can have array of size n plus 1 also, because if I take array of size n, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 indices will be getting, and if we use an array of size n plus 1, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 you can use, 0 you can just leave as such. So okay, in this case I'll take array of size n. So let me just write the indices 1, 2, 3. So this is in the index, and elements corresponding to this index are nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the number of sectors: sector 1, sector 2, sector 3, sector 4. And let's have how many times we had visited this in the, every sector. So initialize everything to 0 initially. Okay, so this is array index. These are the elements corresponding to each index. You could see element minus 1 represents the index, and number of times visited each sector is initialized to 0 in the array. This is done. So once you are done with this, now you have to iterate the loop till last element minus 1, because start end start end start end. The last one we will see that how do we handle it later. Okay, start end, this is start, this is end, then again this is start, this is end. This is what I said now. And if we start, this is what is where there is end. There is no end, so we shall look into that later. Now just imagine we are having start and end. Okay, first element and the second element. So we are starting at the sector 1 and we have to, the ending position is at the sector 3. How do you move? You move from 1 to 2 to 3. So what we'll do is initially you are at the sector 1. The start is pointing to here. So until start not equal to end. Why am I giving this? We'll get to know. So initially you are at the sector 1. So increment the value at the sector 1, that is index 0 to 1 now. Okay, fine. Yeah, initially increment the value to 1 because you have visited it once now. So once you are at start equal to 1, you visited that. Next, which is the one you have to move s plus plus. What is that? S equal to 2. So s equal to, is it equal to n? No, this is not the ending sector. So you have to traverse this also. Even this value will get incremented to 1. It's a sector 2 which is indexed as sector 2 minus 1. That is 1. Okay. Then again increment s plus plus. How much you get? S will get incremented to 3. You are at sector 3. So start is equal to end now because end is pointing to 3. Start is also pointing to 3. At this point, stop this while loop. Okay. Now you have visited, to move from 1 to 3, you have to visit 1, 2, then 3. 3, you might ask why didn't we increment? That will increment in the next loop when we go from 3 to 1. Okay, for now, start and end. Except that ending position, everything you get incremented 1 and 2. Sector 1 and 2 have incremented the value. That means you have visited that particular sector. So once you find start is equal to end, stop the loop. Now which should be the start? Next start will point to, okay, so next start will be this and next end will be this. So again same thing until start not equal to end. Is it equal to start is equal to end? No. So now initialize s equal to 3 you have. Okay, end is pointing to first position. From 3, which sector is next? You have to traverse 4. So okay, first you have to visit 3. So increment the value at the position 3. Now you have visited 3. Next, once you visited 3, increment the value to 4. Now whether 4 is equal to n? No. Again visit this one particular sector. Next, again if you increment it to 5, is there any sector number 5? We have only 4 sectors, there is no 5th sector. Then how do you increment the value now? Because you have to move to 1. So for this reason what to do is whatever start you have, you do modulus n plus 1. Okay. So you have 4. Modulus 4 plus 1. If you do, how much you get it? 1. 4 modulus 4 remainder is what? 0. Right? So if I start at 1 to 2, if I move to 2, I have to go 1 modulus 4, that is nothing but 1 plus 1 you do. Then 2 modulus 4, how much is it? 2 plus 1. So it will move to 3. Like this 3 modulus 4 you do. How much is it? 1, 3 plus 1, that will give you 4. So from third sector you move to 4 like this. 4 modulus 4 plus 1, it will give you 1. So now here instead of 5 you have to get 1 as the answer. So this is why we do this operation. Start modulus the given number of sectors plus 1 so that we will not go out of range of the number of sectors. So now what? S equal to 1 again. So S is initialized to 1. So now is start is equal to n? Start is 1, end is also 1. Yes, you stop the loop now. Okay. Now run the next loop. Okay. So with this, what will be the start and end now? So start will be pointing here, end will be pointing here. So this is start, this is end. So first you have to visit this sector 1. So increment the value at the sector 1, that is index 0. So this will get incremented to 2 now. Okay. Next, what we have to do? Next, s plus plus, s modulus n plus plus. So 1 modulus 4 plus 1 will give you sector equal to 2. 1 modulus 4, that will give you remainder 1. Plus 1, if you do, that will give you 2 as the answer. Now you are at the sector 2. Is it equal to n? Yes, they are equal. So stop this. Okay. Now as I said, next actually it should be, now you have not visited the sector 2. You didn't increment the value at sector 2. Now it should be actually start and end should be some other sector here, but we do not have. So last one pointer which you have left, just increment that value to. After all the loops are done till here, start and end you have, increment the last value, whatever sector you have here, increment that value to by 1 so that it will, even that sector is also visited. So is it correct actually what we have got here? Let's check that. So we have 1, 3, 1, 2. So we are at 1. If you want to move to 3, you have to traverse to 2, then 3. From 3, you have to again move to 1. So you go 4, then after that 1, yeah, you reached 1. So 1, 1, you have to go to 2. So how many times 1 is visited? Twice. How many times 2 is visited? Twice. How many times 3 and 4 are visited? Once. Yes, 3, 4 visited once, 1 and 2 are visited twice. So it's we are actually nothing, we are doing simple thing. So we have a start and pointer. From here to here, how many in between sectors you get, just keep on visiting those values till this particular last element is found. And until start is not equal to end, you just keep on incrementing the value. And why do we do this modulus operation? If it gets out of range, that's why. Once you are at 3, you have to go to 1, means 3, 4, 1. It shouldn't be 3, 4, 5. No, this should not happen. To avoid this, we are using this modulus operation. Yeah. So this is the logic. We shall implement the logic now. So as I said, what we should have, let's create a array first. Okay. Okay. So let's create an array of size n. Of size n and initialize to size of the given array. So we'll iterate for the elements lesser than m minus 1. Why m minus 1? Because last element will not be traversing, because in that case we'll not be having the end pointer. We have the start pointer, but there is no end pointer in the last element. So we'll not be taking that. So we gave the condition less than m minus 1. So let start be equal to rounds of I and end be pointing to rounds of I plus 1. Start is 1, end is 3, like that. So while start not equal to end, so first what we need to do, okay, so we need to increment the sector count value, no? So sector count of start equals to plus equals to 1, but this should be actually start minus 1. Why? Instead of plus equals to 1, I'll give just plus plus. Why start minus 1 is given here? Because as I said, the element corresponding to index 0 is 1, index 1 is 2, index 2 is 3, index 3 is 4. So if the element is 1, then that is at the index 0. That's why if the start is 1, it should be at index 0. That is pointing to. That's why we increment the value 1 behind. Otherwise, you have to take the array of size n plus 1. Then it should be start only. So next, we have to increment start. So start equals to start plus 1. But how do we calculate start? Start modulus n, because it should not go out of range of the sectors, plus 1. So once you are done with this, at the end, after the loop, we have to let the 2 will be remaining. For this, there is no end part, no? So for this, what we have to increment the value of this sector. How do you increment? Again, sector count of wherever the start m minus 1, the last element, that is nothing but start of m minus 1. So sector count of rounds of m minus 1. So rounds, last element. So rounds of m minus 1 plus plus. Again, same as we do start. Here is its rounds of m minus 1. Minus 1 we have to do because as the array is 0 indexed. So yeah, this will give us the array. Now we have to take the array with the maximum element from the array. So how do you get the maximum element? So let's say int max count equal to, as we have the inbuilt function, we'll use that max element of the array, which array? Sector count dot begin, comma, sector count dot end. So this will get the maximum element, the maximum frequency. Frequency is most visited sector. Now run again, iterate over the sector um, array. So for I equal to I equal to 0, I less than, sector count size will be equal to round size only. So let that be m, I plus plus. We'll have a resultant array. So vector int result will use. So if sector count of I is equal to max count, then that is the most visited sector. We have to add that to the resultant array. So vector. So result dot pushback of I plus 1. Again y plus 1, it's a 0 index. Plus 1, we'll get the first sector is at index 0. So 0 plus 1, 1. So that will be the first sector. Yes, at last, you return the resultant vector. Okay. Um, here, this should be underscore sector count. One more error runtime. A small mistake we had did. It should be sector array, sector count array of size and not m. So that is the mistake which we did. I hope it works now. Yes, and for Java, we'll see the same logic applies. Nothing change. Um, how do you find the max element? You have to iterate over the array. You should submit this also. Yeah, successfully submitted. If you understood the concept, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll come up with another video in the next session. Until then, keep learning. Thank you.